Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well, especially amidst these kind of weird times right now. I spent a lot of last week reading over headlines, reading the news a lot, and I was just feeling really anxious. Anxious for business, anxious about, are we gonna have enough food? Are we gonna get totally locked down? Just this before the quarantining and social distancing started happening, but I was just really anxious throughout the week. And I was listening to this interesting podcast the other day that helped me, just bring a little clarity in that needing to have more faith in order to be able to just rely on God and on rely on Him for kind of everything that we need. And I think in some of this Jesus leadership training that we've been doing, one of the things that I read specifically this morning talked about Jesus being this, the rock star, right? The guy who will rebuke when he needs to, but also he will encourage when he needs to in the right situation. And one story that came to mind for me, at least out of that, was Jesus calming the storm. So in Mark 4, starting in verse 36, actually, it says, leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was, in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, Teacher, don't you care if we drown? He got up. Sorry, I just lost my place. He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, Quiet, be still. Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to the disciples, Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? They were terrified and asked each other, Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obeyed him. I think I was praying about it on my run this morning, and it just made me realize that God is in control, right? And the greater the faith that we have in Him, the I think the more calm we'll be, the less anxious we'll be, the more reliant we'll be on Him. And so, despite all these interesting times right now, I pray that you can all look to possibly this scripture, or certainly just relying on God more, and turning off the headlines, not being too focused on the coronavirus. But yeah, and this scripture I know was certainly one that brought that perspective in for me. It's in another passage or reference there. It says, of course, this too shall pass. And I think of that in the same way coronavirus will pass as well. So I love you all. I hope that's encouraging to you. At least it was for me this morning. And yeah, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe share some other scriptures that might be helpful for other people today. But love you all. See ya.